5 things you just saw, a tooltip that positions itself, a dialog that animates in from nothing, 5 colors generated from one variable. None of that is JavaScript, that's CSS in 2026. And if you're still installing Popper.js for tooltips or writing setTimeout hacks for entry animations, this video is gonna save you a lot of code. So let's get started. Blank file, live server running, 5 features, 1 section each. Let's start with the one that just killed an entry category of NPM packages. Tooltips, drop-downs, context menus. For years, Popper.js, floating UI, custom positioning math with get bounding client rect, all of that existed for one job: make a small box appear next to a button without it getting clipped or breaking on scroll. CSS does this natively now. So this is the HTML code, just a button and a div, no special wrapper needed. And in this CSS code, anchor name, I'm giving this button a name. It starts with 2 dashes, like a custom property, help, button. You can call it anything. This button is now in anchor, other elements can attach to. In this code, position absolute is standard, nothing new here. Position anchor, help, button, this is new. I'm telling this tooltip, attach yourself to that button. Position area top, position above the anchor. And that's it. 3 new lines total, no JS calculating positions, no watching for scroll or resize events. Tooltip appears perfectly positioned above the button, but here's the part that makes this actually production ready. This code, position try fallbacks if there's no room above the button, say it's near the top of the screen. The browser automatically flips the tooltip below instead. Flip block flips vertically, flip inline flips horizontally. The browser handles all the collision detection. This is exactly what Popper.js was built to do. 4 CSS declaration replace an entire library. Next, entry animations, specifically animating something that starts as display none. This used to be genuinely annoying. You can't transition from display none because the browser doesn't know what to animate from. It just isn't there. Developers use setTimeout with a 10 millisecond delay to force a reflow before adding the animation class. It was a hack, always felt fragile. So this is the HTML code, native dialog element with show model, and now the CSS code. In this, normal end state styles fully visible, normal scale, but notice transition includes display 0.3 second, allow discrete. Display isn't normally animatable, it's binary, on or off. Allow discrete tells the browser, treat this like an animatable property for transition purposes. This is what makes the whole trick possible. In this code, starting style, this is the new add rule. Inside it, the state the dialog should start from the very first time it goes from close to open. Opacity 0, scale down slightly, offset down 10 pixels. The browser now knows 2 states, the starting style and the normal style. It animates between them automatically. No JS timing, no set timeout, and no reflow hacks. And watch that. Smooth scale and fade entrance, close it, and it didn't even need a closing animation rule because the dialog's normal CSS transition handles that automatically. One new add rule solved years of animation hacks. This one is small, but every designer will love it. Headlines that wrap awkwardly, with one lonely word sitting by itself on the last line. This is the HTML code and this is CSS. This is the default behavior. Let's look at it. See that the last word sits alone, looking unbalanced. This happens constantly on hero headlines and card titles. In this code, text wrap balance, one value change. The browser recalculates line breaks to distribute the text as evenly as possible across all lines. Now look at the difference. Much more even. No more orphan words. This is perfect for headlines, pull quotes, card titles, anywhere typography needs to look intentional. One word for warning. Only use this on short text. Long paragraphs will hurt performance because the browser recalculates constantly. Headlines and short titles, perfect. And this one changes how I think about color in CSS entirely. Relative color syntax using OKLch. I don't know how to pronounce it. You could say that OKLCH or OKLch. Alright, so in this code, first OKLCH, this is a color space like RGB or HSL, but it matches human color perception much better. The 3 values, lightness, chroma, hue. 65% lightness, 0.18 chroma, 28 degrees hue. That's a purple. And now here's the new part. In this code, this line, this is relative color syntax. I'm saying take the brand color and generate a new color from it. This line, take the lightness value and add 0.18 to it. C and H keep chroma and hue exactly the same. Result, a lighter version of the same color, mathematically generated. And in this code, darker Same formula, subtracting lightness instead. Muted, keep lightness and hue the same, but multiply chroma by 0.35. Reduces the saturation, makes it look washed out, perfect for disabled states. 5 colors, 1 source variable, change blend to any other color. Every single variant updates automatically because they are all calculated relative to it. This is what design tokens were always supposed to feel like. And last one, and this is for anyone who's used Sass before. Native CSS mixins, no build setup, no compiler, just CSS. And in this code, mixin define a reusable block of CSS declarations. -- center, the name, same custom property style naming, inside 3 lines that center anything with flexbox. Now use it anywhere. So in this code, @apply -- center pulls in those 3 declarations directly into this rule. Write the centering logic once, apply it to every card, every button, every container that needs it. An amazing 3 cards, all centered content, 1 mixin. If you have used Sass @include before, this feels identical, except there is no Sass, no Webpack, no build setup, just CSS running natively in the browser. Anchor positioning, starting styles, balanced text, relative colors, native mixins, 5 features, all real, all shipping in 2026. This is the trend to watch. CSS keeps absorbing what used to require JS libraries, smaller bundles, fewer dependencies, faster sites. The full demo file with all 5 features is linked below in the description. If you want to stay ahead of where CSS is going, please subscribe. I cover this every week. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.